Hey traders, welcome back to another video. So in this video, let's talk about what's a victim mindset and why some traders could be spending 5, 10, 20 years doing the same thing, having the same struggles, just walking the same path, but still just cannot get out of it. So this is also something that I believe if you are a struggling trader, you probably have a small part of you that's possessing a victim mindset. So what's exactly a victim mindset? If you're someone who's always unnecessarily or overwhelmingly pessimistic, so you're always negative, sometimes you find yourself sitting there overthinking is also one of the sign of victim mindset. You're just constantly thinking about all the negatives, alright? Trading is doing bad. Can I survive doing this? What if long-term wise I keep failing? Will I be spending another 10 years doing the wrong thing? So if you really think deep into all of these traits, all of these statements that I just say, none of them are positive. So positive means, so instead of thinking all the negative things, why can't you just start thinking about the upside? So the upside could be, what if I succeed? What if I do the right thing? Will I be able to fast pace my growth? What's the right thing to acquire? What's the right skill set to acquire in order for me to become to succeed faster? So you see, throughout so many years of running a community, so I've been running a community for quite some time. Obviously, I shut down the first one, the 1%ers Trade Club. The one that I'm running right now is the second community that I run. It's a lot better because I had to restructure everything. That's why I decided to shut down the first one, reopen a brand new, the 1%ers Trade Club 2 years ago. So I had the privilege to coach about 150 to 200 traders throughout my entire journey. And I can honestly tell you the difference between good and struggling traders are usually one thing, which is confidence. And if you were to ask me about the second thing, probably would be, I'll say, discipline is one thing, consistency is one thing. These are very common word, but I'll say confidence and positivity is probably two important things, because we all started trading with the same amount of uncertainty, with the same amount of insecurity. When we first, if you still remember the day when you first started trading, everyone's being very uncertain, right? The way we look at the market is all from a probabilistic, a very clueless perspective. I look at the market, I don't know what's exactly happening, right? Back then, if you ask me, do I know when will market go up? I don't know. Even up until today, if you ask me, hey Nia, will gold go up tomorrow or drop tomorrow? Only thing I can tell you is, based on my experience, I think the likelihood of gold going up is a little bit higher. I can still only make probabilistic bets. I can't be confident enough to tell, hey, I guarantee gold will go up. I believe none of us will be able to say that, right? Because why? Because market is all about probability and possibility. It's all about patterns, all about statistics, it's all about making calculated bets. So why does some traders eventually excel and really outperform and do so well, making 6 figures, 7 figures? But some traders, like some of my members that approached me recently, they struggle for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and they still can't figure out how can I make it. It's exactly because some traders, they have what we call the winner mindset. Winner mindset means they always adapt, they always reflect and review their performance. Those are people who are really focusing on the process. They don't really care about whether if I want to be a successful trader within 1 year, 2 years. They don't really use this kind of outcome to measure their success. They normally just focus on the process. They keep doing the right thing, and they make sure day in, day out, they're consistent throughout the entire journey. And that's the winner mindset. Process oriented, law of attraction, they're always positive. If they fail today, you'll see them climbing back up tomorrow, having a smile on their face, and they continue with that journey. And that's how I did in the past as well. Back then, a lot of people say, Neo, you are a good trader because you're probably talented. So sorry, there's a mosquito because I'm right at the beach. So some people tend to say, Neo, you are a good trader because you are probably more talented than me. You just have the talent to trade. And the answer is not really. Maybe there's a small 1% to 5% of that relates to talent, but most of the time it's really just the way you think and the way you adapt. Two different types of trader. One kind of trader blowing up account, being so negative, and the next day when they wake up, they borrow money, they blow up another account again. First kind of trader. Victim kind of trader. Second type of trader, they blow up their account, they make mistakes, they acknowledge their mistakes, they look into their mistake and think about how can I prevent it? How can I stop it from happening again? I don't want to ever blow up any account anymore. And guess what? The following day, when they wake up, they look back at their mistakes, they say, hey, how can I improve it? So what's the right process to prevent myself from repeating the same stupid mistake? Two different types of trader. So you see, the same day, the same sleep, the same next day, but two complete different action, two complete different thinking, two complete different mindset. Who's going to succeed in the long run? Of course, trader B, the second trader, because he's always thinking about how can I improve things. And let me tell you, in my toughest time was probably when I failed my business, or I had a massive debt, a couple $100,000 at 21, 22 years old. That was when, if I at that time, all I think was, how can I make money from the market so I can return the debt, so I can pay off my debt. If all I think was, how can I make more money to pay off my debt? How can I make more money to pay off my debt? Then ultimately, now you wouldn't see me sitting here sharing all these stories to all of you, but rather I will still be running around, borrowing money, paying off debt. Alright? So, you see, if today you are someone who's been in the market for a few years, I'll say between 4 to 10 to 15 to 20 years, and if you're still struggling, something must be wrong. I don't like the way, most of the struggling traders, or what I directly say losing trader, they always have one common thing, which is I ask them, hey, something's wrong. Do you know what's the problem? And sometimes I even ask them, do you need any help? They often give me two answers, very simple answers. They always say, yeah, I know what's the problem. This is such a killer. People, remember, if you're watching these traders, aspiring traders, if you know what's the problem, but you don't change it, or if you're egoistic enough to not change it, then it is not a problem. It is a habit. It is not a mistake. It is a self-made problem. Remember, a problem, if being identified, but no solution, no corrective measure to prevent it from happening again, it is not a mistake. It is not a problem. You are the problem. This is one of the best advice I've ever received back then, because I always thought, hey, I made a mistake, I reflect, I move on. The problem is, moving on is a good thing. A lot of people like to say, oh, if I make mistakes, all I do is just I reflect and I move on. Yeah, move on is good. But are you still doing the same thing? If let's say you say, I'm going to move on, next week you're doing the same thing. 2 weeks later, you're doing the same thing. 2 months later, you're repeating the same thing. Then ultimately, it's not a mistake. It is a habit. You are the problem. The problem is no longer the market. The problem is no longer your trading system. You become the problem. Warren Buffett said this: chains of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. And this is a quote that I used to put on my wallpaper. Basically just tell me, hey, if you keep repeating the same thing, it's no longer mistakes. It is a habit. Or it's no longer something that is changeable. Don't make a small problem into a big problem by repeating the small problem again and over again. So back to what I just said. Traders that are always struggling always tell me two answers. As I say, they always say, I know what's the problem. The second thing is they always say, don't worry, it's fine. What do you mean don't worry? Are you going to change it or not? Are you going to make it or not? Are you going to continue trading or not? So I used to have one member. He spent a lot of money on challenges and he keep repeating the same thing, alright? Buying challenges, borrowing account within a few days, and second thing is he always buy a lot of challenges and he pass it, become funded, just to eventually fail again. So he spent a lot of money into the challenges, and often I say, hey, do you need help? Do you know what's the problem? And he often would tell me, don't worry about it. I know what's the problem. I know exactly what's the problem. I know how to fix it. I'll be fine. This is the answer that I received for probably 5 to 10 times in the past 2 to 3 years from this person. And every single time when I text him, he will always tell me, hey, I'm fine. I don't need any help. And that's one big lesson that I learned in life. If someone don't need help, don't offer any help. Because the more you ask them, the more you try to offer your sincerity, your help, the more they think you are such a noisy person. You're just such a busybody. Why can't you do your own thing? Why do you need to bother about me? And yeah, and this person, after 2 to 3 years, he's still repeating the same thing. Buying challenges, fail. Or buying challenges, passing them to make it to the funded, and still fail. Alright? And also, I also have some really good traders friend. Those are really sharp people. You know, the way they look at the market is just so different. Not just from a mindset perspective, even from a technical perspective. The way they look into the market is always quite the opposite of how majority look at the market. Like even for myself, lots of time when I share my analysis, when I share my thought process inside the community, when let's say, I remember on mid-May, when gold was pushing through fresh high or whatever, inside the community, I told them, I want to short gold. I'm looking to short gold, and guess what? Gold dropped for a couple 100 points. And they don't know exactly why, how am I able to capture this kind of massive reversals, really such an aggressive reversal kind of trade. But I often tell them this is based on experience, because I know exactly what all of you are thinking. Now, if you ask me today, hey, what makes me a good trader? I will say I've been through enough. Also, I've spent enough time changing the bad habits. I'll spend enough time correcting my mistakes that I know what are some of the mistakes that all of you do. Alright, I'll be very honest. Most of the time, you all look at the market the wrong way, quite the opposite direction. Alright, and how do I know that? Again, I run a community. Right now, our community is sitting around 79, 80 traders. Recently, we've been having a lot of new traders trying to join, but unfortunately, I can't take everyone. Some of the traders, if I feel like that vision doesn't align with our community, then I'll just kindly tell them, hey, sorry, we can't take you in. So what happened is really often they really just ask me, hey, how would you see the market this way? And it's very difficult to share because often for really good traders, they look at the market from a very logical standpoint. It's not just from a pure technical. No, I've coached a lot of traders, and there are different kind of traders. Some are just they're not so good at technical. They care more about how can I trade safely, how can I just make passive income. And some traders, they really try to crack the code, but they always found themselves catching on the later trend. So, and some traders who are really sharp, but they are really a little bit too aggressive. That's what we call be 1 to 2 steps ahead, not 4 to 5 steps. Right? For traders who are always trying to be 4 to 5 steps ahead, they'll be catching falling knives so many times. Right? Going reversal, going to trade reversal, going to trade reversal, and end up they find themselves always get stopped out 4 or 5 times before market eventually reverse. Good traders are those, as what I just said, they're always 1 to 2 steps ahead. They know everyone's chasing the market. They know the likelihood of price retracing or snapping back is high, and that's how they make calculated bets, calculated risk. And that's what I always do. All right. If you today ask me, hey, what makes me a good trader? I'm always trying to be 1 to 2 steps ahead, and I'm always trading on the right side of the V. I'm not trading on the left side. So this is a deep topic as well. So yeah, I hope this video really helps you on identifying probably some part of you is possessing a victim mindset. You're always being unnecessarily negative. You're always trading to you just seems like a big struggle. So if I think that way, let me tell you, the difference between good trading and bad trading is just a thin fine line in between. So if today if you're able to just change the way you think and just start thinking in terms of how can I be better, how can I be better, how can I be better, then you will improve significantly. If you keep thinking how can I make money, if you keep thinking on how can I not fail, how can I not overtrade, not revenge trade, and ultimately every single thing you think is just negative. But instead think about how can I stick to a set of rules, how can I make sure I blindly abide to this set of criteria, this set of checklist, so that I have that long-term consistency. How can I make sure I become a winner? You need to have that confidence. Without confidence, you're nothing. You need to have the confidence, right? So I hope this video speaks to some of you. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what would you like me to talk next time. Sorry if the video is a little bit out of topic, but yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and share the video to anyone, any of your fellow traders, any of your fellow friends who would love to learn about trading as well. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.